All right, go ahead.
Welcome to another exciting episode of AFL Undisputed. I am your unofficial third host here. It's a pleasure being with your favorite, Mr. Gabriel Tinoco. And I take pride in being up here with the one and only Mr. Omari Fraser. Omari, how are we doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm liking this the switch that we got here for the fans. You know, they're probably saying like, "Whoa, what's happening? What's happening?"
Oh, it's a good day. You know, sometimes you got to switch things up. But I think it's for good reason. I think this is for very good reason. You know, today's guest. I think he needs no introduction, if you will. But I'm gonna go ahead and give him one anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna give him one anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and give him one anyway. So, without further ado, real fast, ladies and gentlemen, your next guest here has lived rent-free in your heads for almost about, over a decade now. Your next guest here has, and I'm serious about that from what I've heard. So our next guest here has, on a serious note, expanded horizons for the AFL in a multitude of ways, opening different avenues for a bunch of different cats in the league now through whether it's a podcast, whether after game, pre-game, have whatever type of interviews you want to call. I think this guy was probably one of the founding fathers, if you will, to kind of set the path along with one of my other great friends and co-hosts of this show. But without further ado, in which case, this guy holds records in the AFL that he'll never have to worry about me taking because I don't think I'll play that long, and no one's dumb enough to throw that way to me. In which case, without further ado, please, ladies and gentlemen, let me get a beautiful round of applause and warm welcome for the one, the only Mr. Teej Johannesson.
Oh wow, that blows all my intros out the water. Oh my god. How you doing, Gabe? Feeling good?
How we doing, buddy? How we doing?
Hey, I'm fantastic.
Hey,
I'm
man, it's
really
what are we? I'm glad to hear that it's God's day. You know, we're here,
Yes,
we're
sir.
living. I helped my dad with his car earlier. Didn't work out too well, but we're still kicking. We'll figure it out. The kids are doing good. Family's great. How about you on your end? How's your little one?
Yeah, she's doing awesome, man. She's just a blessing every single day. It's amazing to see the growth and the changes just every single day. She's smiling more. She's recognizing us. Her vision is really good. She sees me from afar, and it's one of those things where it's just every moment is a blessing. And now with the nice weather out, I've been able to go for walks and do that kind of stuff with her. So I'm loving it, loving life.
Yes.
Being a dad is people told me it was going to be great, but you never can truly experience what it's going to feel like until it happens, and it's phenomenal, as both of you gentlemen would attest to, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. I'm grateful you're experiencing all that, especially being a girl dad myself. I kind of know some of the things. Every experience is different, but some of the things, if you will, I'm very happy you're going through, brother. It's beautiful. Fatherhood is lovely, as Omari will tell you as well. Fatherhood is a beautiful thing, man.
it's a fun time, and man, like I think one thing we did today with Arden was we got his first pair of soccer cleats. He's gonna be starting soccer here in May, so I got a chance to take him to the field, put some cones out, and I was showing him hey, this is how you cut by the cone, and he went through and was just stomping on every cone. So I'm like, okay, we're starting off somewhere.
Yeah. At least he knows that there's color there to do something with it. It's a start.
Yeah, it's a start. And he'd pick up the cone and everything. I'm like, hey, you know what? This is day one.
That's beautiful. Well, I mean, hopefully I get to get there soon with Lena. She's, like I said before in our last talk together, she's enjoying playing with all different types of sports as it pertains with balls, baseball, soccer balls. She enjoys playing football with dad, volleyball with mom. So we'll see what she ends up picking up. But right now she's just kind of wreaking havoc, getting into anything and everything she can. We're at that stage right now. We're at that stage. But ladies and gentlemen, enough about us and our kids. Sorry, we can go on forever. However, in which case, we are here today in this odd setting, if you will, but I think very unique. We are here today for a very special reason. Mr. Teej Johannesson went ahead and broke the internet over this past couple days. with his recent change up in signing elsewhere to the wonderful Airdrie Irish, which I think, in my personal opinion, makes them a very competitive bunch. Teej, would you please go ahead and walk us through your decision and what kind of brought you to this point?
Yeah, I think I've spoke about it a little bit on the podcast before, as far as not being sure what I wanted with the Bucs this year. For me, I'm a as I have probably proven over my 14-year career staying with the Bucs outside of 1 year. I've been very loyal to the program, to the team in some of the worst years. I live and breathe Buccaneers football. Bucs have given me so much in my life, from friendships to memories to experiences, that I will never, ever not cherish. And so this was weighing on me for a very long time. I told Paul's the chairman of the team there, and Paul's doing his best. He was left with kind of a mess from the previous kind of people that were in charge with the Bucs, and wasn't given a lot of help, and is doing his best he can, but just a lot of it, I think he's doing it on his own, and I don't think that's fair to Paul. But I did make it clear to Paul that, the last 2 years I was a player coach, essentially the head coach. Our head coach wasn't there a lot due to some family commitments, and our assistant coaches weren't even going to coach, but then came when they could. So it fell on me to basically run practices and run the offense and coach the team. And I was done with that. It's not something if I'm playing football, I want to play. I want to just be able to show up and play. I want to put 100% of my energy on being the best player I can be. And while I still had success in my last 2 years, obviously being an all-star in both those seasons and doing what I could on the field, but I don't think I was able to be the 100% best version of myself on the field. And I don't think anybody can when they've got the burden of also coaching. I think it's impossible. How can you give 100% of your energy to one thing when you're doing another thing? And I was clear with Paul that this was something that I needed to have coaches. I needed to have dedicated people showing up to coach the team so that I could just play and be the best version of myself. And unfortunately, he tried his best. No shot at Paul or the Bucs. They really did try, but they weren't able to find anyone to commit to coaching. And I had to be true to my word and true to myself and true to my family. And I just want to play. So I reached out to Kurt on the Gators and Anton on the Irish. Those are my two destinations that I would have liked to go to. I had about a 45-minute conversation with Anton on the phone, and when that conversation was done, I was pretty convinced that that's where I wanted to go. That's where God was leading me to go. Whether you're religious or not, I like to leave things in his hands, and he kind of directs the way. And I was struggling with it. I wasn't sleeping at night thinking about what I was going to do and where I should go. And I just kind of said, I would like to leave this in your hands, God. Show me something. And then I had a conversation with Anton, and I felt that. I felt something spark in me. And so I did talk to Kurt a little bit too. Not as in depth. I think a big reason for me of going with Airdrie is I'm not a ring chaser in the sense, and obviously you're not either, Gabe. I'm not saying that. You've won multiple rings. You're going where you feel is best. But for me, I felt that going to a team that is more of an underdog is more compelling to me. I feel like I can help that team probably more than the Gators need me. And that's a big selling point for me. I think jumping onto a championship team would be great. But I think that, they've done everything they need to do, and they're the heavy favorites. And heading to a place like Airdrie where we're going to be kind of underdogs, they've never won a championship. The thought of bringing a championship to the town of Airdrie after everything they've been through is just that would be just, I couldn't compare that. If I won with the Gators, that's great, right? I'm not taking anything away from the Gators, but it wouldn't be anything new or special. They've done it before many times. Airdrie's never done it. And that's really, as a competitor and as someone that sees myself as a impact player on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game, that was really hard to pass up. But really, Anton is an incredible speaker and was honest with me and told me what he expected and what he wanted and the desire for the team and the coaching staff they have in place. And I felt it in that moment that that's where I needed to be. And once I made that decision, I have felt like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders, and I'm just so incredibly excited to join that group. I was welcomed with open arms, man. These guys on the group chat that they added me to were just so kind. And again, these are people, obviously you can relate to this, Gabe especially. These are people that I've like kicked in the face and shit talked and spoken shit about and called their jerseys ugly and said their field was terrible. I have shit on the Airdrie Irish more than any team in the entire league on this podcast, and yet here I am, and they accepted me with open arms through all that stuff because they understand it's all part of the game. These guys have been nothing but great to me, and just a wholesome group of guys from what I can see. So I'm just really excited.
So what I want to know is, do they put you on the jersey committee to say, hey guys, listen, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's probably not. I'm not sure if they're getting new jersey or not, but whatever's happening on the jersey side, you're like, hey, first thing in, I'm bringing in a whole render of these new jerseys I want to bring in.
Well, I'll tell you this, Omari. Yes, I have not enjoyed the Airdrie Irish jerseys in the past. I've been very vocal about that, obviously. I don't want to give away too many of the Irish secrets. That's not up for me to say. All I'll say is I think I'm going to be happy with what we put on the field this year.
Okay. So I'm assuming they're going to keep the all whites. The all whites are clean.
Yeah, I like the all whites.
All blacks aren't going anywhere.
The all blacks aren't going anywhere. Even though I know it's not Irish color, so it must be like a different green color. So
if you're
potentially
smart,
new green.
you know exactly what color.
Hey, there might potentially be a new green. I'll say this: if there is a new green coming, I think going back to the Irish roots. Remember, too, guys, last year Airdrie didn't get to play at home. So this is a return to their field. This is a return to their city. This is a return to the brand new state-of-the-art field. Like, this is exciting. This is exciting times in Airdrie. So it wouldn't shock me if they maybe went back to their roots and went a little bit green. Again, I can't spill any of that on here. I really don't know a whole lot. But I can say that if they do go back to a green, I just hope it's not the forest green. I don't like the forest green. I'd like a little bit like Saskatchewan Rough Rider type of green, a little bit lighter, not as dark, but we'll have to see. I'm currently, Omari, when I came to the Wolfpack for that 1 year in 2022, I tried to buy number 5 off you. You've never shut anybody down quicker, so that was off the table. No negotiation whatsoever. Wanted nothing from me. I am in negotiation with the current number 5 on Airdrie. I'm hoping that he's a little bit easier to deal with than my wonderful podcast host was. So I'm hoping to be rocking number 5 again. That's where I feel most comfortable. But I don't know what I'm going to have to pony up. I said I'm just going to leave this vague, but I said all options are open.
What, Gabe, if you have someone coming for your number, how would you proceed with that? I know we're not NFL where you got like bands to
No. It's look, I'll be honest. A situation like that happened with me on the Jets. My running mate at the time, who then turned into my other side counterpart, Mr. Shea. He wanted to take 0, in which case, and I told him, if I wasn't around, you're more than welcome to. Not in a bad way or nothing, but, and he didn't mean it in a bad way. He meant it in a respectful way. I think it depends on the situation. Like, if you're still there, like, let's talk some, we obviously may not be in the league, but, we could talk some food. We could talk, like, you bring in some food to the game for me every week. You bring in some snacks, like, something. There could be some type of something in there. But, if it was me personally, I don't know, man. I would just, if another number was open, I probably wouldn't care. Like, if 0 was taken, I think in which case, actually, yeah, this exactly happened. I was going to take, I think 5. And then it wasn't available, so I went to 0. Mm-hmm. It was just, and I really wanted 5 because that's the month my daughter was born in. So,
I got a fault question for you there, Gabe. But for nice thing for Teej, I know you can offer some Teej baked goods. Insert self plug here right now.
Yep, superfood dessert, absolutely.
But Gabe, for the Gators now, with you going to the Gators, did you get 0?
I did get 0.
That was Cameron Miller's. Cameron Miller was 0.
I wanted 5. Yeah.
You wanted 5?
I wanted five.
Oh, we
As
got
I'm
three
on the
fives
tail
here.
end of
This
my
is
career
great.
now, I wanted where yeah, I wanted to wear something that meant something for my daughter, as I'm just basically playing for her now in my last couple of years. So I wanted to get five, but somebody has five, so that's I was like, well, I'll just take zero then, I guess, if it's available. And so then they just threw that, and I was like, all right. Of course, I couldn't get two because Kurt's two, which
Yeah.
there
How
ain't no
open were
negotiation there.
how open were the Gators to that number 5?
Well, I mean, it was a quick conversation. I just,
Okay, that's quick.
Kurt asked, what numbers I was inquired or wanted, and at first I was gonna say 11, but then I was like, nah, I can't take 11. And then I was like, well, is five available? And then he was like, no, somebody does have five, but zero's available. And I was like, all right, I'll just go back to zero then. Like, it's no issue.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a very quick, easy conversation. Then me and him immediately started going on to scheming and stuff. It happened fast. It happened fast.
I was just inquiring.
Oh yeah, it happened fast. But yeah, ironically enough, he knew I did want two, but as I also did mention, he knew too. Ain't no way I'm getting that from him. So yeah, but
So
with oh yes, go ahead,
I was gonna
Omar.
say, so I was gonna buy back to Teej here now. So what position are
Yes.
you gonna be playing now here with Irish? Is it gonna be more defense, more offense, bit of both? I know Anton's gonna be scheming up with you wherever he wants to put you, but where do you feel that you'd be the most effective?
Well, I mean, I think I'd be most effective playing both ways all the time and kicking. I mean, that's if it's I've been, the first. I'm actually, a lot of people don't know this from my AFL, but I was a receiver my whole life. So when I went and played from the time I was 8 years old all the way up, I played receiver, played like part-time defense. I played receiver in junior when I went to the Huskies, started as a rookie receiver, and I've always been a receiver. Then when I came to the Bucks in 2010, at that time the Bucks were all like fair play and blah blah blah. The veterans get playing time. They weren't really about winning and putting a competitive thing on the field. So they're like, I don't care how good you are. We have like 20 receivers. You're at the bottom of the depth chart, just because that's how they did things. So I said, well, how many DBs do you have? And they said hardly any. So I said, okay, well, let me play DB. And the rest is history from there. In 2018, I started going both ways again. And getting back to receiver, and I've done that ever since. I think, I told Anton, I said, I'll go wherever you want me to go. This is he knows me. He's coached against me for a long time. He's played against me. He understands what I'm capable of. I think my primary position, I know my primary position will be receiver. That will be what I'm focused on the most, and I think that makes a lot of sense. With the crew that we have there, right? Like we have Vardo, who's a top end receiver in the league. We have Sagan, who's a top end receiver in the league. Apparently, there's a couple other guys who are pretty good, and we've got three. I haven't seen them yet, but three quarterbacks that are all apparently have some good potential to get us the ball and to do those things. So I think having those pieces in place and then adding me does a lot, because when I play that inside slot position, if we're in single back, or play that wide side slot if we're in double, but specifically that inside trips receiver, that puts a lot of pressure on defenses, right? So you have to decide, do you want to play man against me with a linebacker, or B, which is never going to work, or B, are you going to just play zone on me all day long? Well, the problem with playing zone on me is you have to respect the deep ball. So I push the defense back, which creates opportunities for other guys underneath. So I think my mere presence being out there on the field does a lot of things for defenses that they have to account for. So I think it makes sense as a whole. But at the same time, of course, corner, like that's my love position. Like I love playing corner. I think playing, as Gabe can attest, like people don't understand. And I get upset about this all the time, right? People think that the strong side corners where you put your worst DB and he's just out there floating. No. If you have a good strong side corner, he disrupts the game by himself. When he can take away, when you don't know if he's playing flats or deep because he can play both at the same time, you have no idea what's going on. When you've got a guy at the strong side corner that can read the play and react to the play and come up and contain properly and hold the edge properly, you've got a guy that can change the game. When you've got a guy on the strong side that can get over top of those slot backs and still, if the ball is thrown outside of him to the wideout on double goes and zone, can turn and make that play on the wide receiver, like that's a guy that creates havoc in the game. And that's what I believe I am. That's what Gabe is as a strong side corner. And that's why nobody throws those ways anymore. So when you have a guy that shuts down the entire strong side of the field and teams don't want to throw there, not just to the wideout, but to the slot backs as well when we play over top of that, even when we play man, I know I can't speak for Gabe, but I know when I understand that when I play man, the strong side wide receiver is the worst receiver on the team. So I don't even have to pay attention to him. I can look at him through the corner of my left eye and just run up the field, play man against him, and also play man against the other guy, right? And Gabe does the exact same thing. I know that. So this is something that that's a bone that I have to pick with people, not understanding the value.
Exposing everybody's secrets.
Yeah, I expose it exactly, right? It annoys me, Gabe, though, that people have no idea the power of having an elite strong side corner, right? So I do want to play a little bit of corner. Anton knows that, and I think you'll see me there. And of course, I'll probably do a lot of kicking as well. So receiver is the main, corner when they need me, and kicking as well.
Your specialty punt rollout.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I haven't forgotten.
Yeah. The fake punts. I'm about 14 of 17 in my life in the AFL on fake punt conversions, and about 13 of those 14 completions are to Xavier Lawrence, who's now Gabe's teammate on the Gators. But if you ever run into X, just ask him about me and him on punt. It's actually unbelievable the success that we've had together on the punt group.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely be sure to ask X that the next time we talk. We do talk quite a bit. Like I said before, he's always asking about tips and pointers. So yeah, I'll definitely ask him about that. Though I've seen the film. Don't worry, I've seen the film. So, I can attest to it. Yes, they are pretty damn good together. But okay. I will say, to your point, Teej, a couple of your points. A big thing I actually had a conversation with somebody on was exactly as you mentioned, more in particular on the offensive side, where I think you guys kind of now change. Well, adding you kind of changes the way Airdrie is kind of played. And I don't think people initially kind of understood that per se, because maybe they don't understand maybe what you guys are going to have, or how you guys are kind of, I can say you guys because you're there now, how you guys are built this way and the other, and also how you guys are coached. So, but me personally, as we know, I'm a football savant. I kind of know all that. So what I was actually saying was, now, to the exact point you mentioned, this stresses a lot. And I don't mean this like in a bad way on anybody's team, including my own. This is just a football standpoint. This actually stresses a lot. To the two receivers you mentioned, who are also good friends of mine, both Sagan as well as Vardo, those aren't scrubs.
No.
Exactly as I was telling my teammate, I'll call him. Those aren't scrubs. So when it came to those two initially, yes, when I was in Cold Lake. That would be, hey, you man up on this one. We'll try to deal with the other one because we know you'll take this one, and we'll go from there. You can't really do that now.
Yeah.
Because now what are you going to say? Like, all right, if it's trips right, and you got one of you two, if not all three of you on the same side, okay, you're going to put the backer on you or Sagan or Varda, depending on who the three is. Okay, and that's fine if you think that's going to work. Okay, is your slot back good enough before we even get all the way to the outside? And I know the overall question to many will say is, as you also mentioned, one of the quarterbacks you will have who will be able to deliver the ball. I don't think the way your guys' game is played up here, that has got to be too complex. I think there's a way to stretch the field horizontally and be successful enough to keep moving the chains. Or be in position to keep moving the chains on third down, if you will. And I think, me personally, adding you kind of makes right now, and I'll say just at this moment before I continue my next part, I think right now it makes you guys probably as you mentioned, an underdog, but I think that guys put you guys right behind us. Truthfully, I really do, just overall on paper. Now, I'll say just right now, I do anticipate, and this isn't a knock to you, Anton, or anybody over there at Airdrie, or being biased. This is just, again, my knowledge. I do fully anticipate Cold Lake is going to recruit as they always do. We cannot sleep on them. So I don't. I definitely think more overall what I'm saying is this creates the perfect parity in the league. I'm actually happy you didn't end up coming over to with me to the Gators, and not in a bad way. To the exact point I just mentioned, I think this creates the perfect parity. I think now we have a true three-headed monster in this league, and we will potentially see who the fourth is. As I've said, I think it's could be the Cowboys. We'll see, but I think truthfully now, Airdrie has solidified themselves as a true enough contender where people have to put respect on that name. And I say that because, as we know, Teej, you and me have been there. At times, we would kind of look at it as, okay, we should be able to take this one this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, in particularly, us when I was in Cold Lake, we weren't worried too much. You know, we knew who we needed to worry about, but we weren't worried too much as we knew how we could game plan and everything. I think that changes now, and you know, well, I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, how do you think the outlook of the league now goes with you?
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why I chose the Irish. I mean, to be frank, and I mean, I don't think this sounds too egotistical, but if I went to the Gators, I mean, it's over. Like I think that we would run roughshed on the league if I went there, which, you know, is great, like I said, but you know, if you've got you and me playing corner, I mean, and the halfbacks that they have and the linebackers, that, like, what are you going to do? Like, that's impossible. Plus, if I were to play offense there with X and Ben, I mean, X and Ben played on the Bucs in 2021 and just destroyed the entire league. Like, I just did my thing and pushed defenses off and allowed Ben and X to work underneath, and they ate. And even Brandon Lay's brother, Matt Lay, had a great year that year, you know, because teams were putting three guys on me running deep corner routes. Like, I think that would almost be unfair. So that was a big part of it too. Like, I'm not a guy that's like, oh, I need to go here because I want to win. I'm a guy that goes, I want to go here because I can help them win. Right. And there's a difference in that. And so for me, that is just so enticing to, you know, the small town Airdrie vibe is big for me. I love playing in Red Deer because of that. The never won a championship, the going back home, the being at a new field, the coaching staff, it just all just makes so much sense. And I think that's exactly it. Now, all of a sudden, as long as we can have a quarterback, which by the sounds of it, we've got three good ones. So once someone's going to step up and make their game rise up, I think we've got a legitimate chance to put up a lot of points. I think Airdrie has been a high run team in the league before, and they still have all those running backs back. So that's a huge thing, because now you're talking about, you know, defending the run and having to respect the run, but at the same time, you've got three receivers out there, at least three. Again, Vardo, Sagan, and myself are all like, we are all gonna be able to do our thing. I've heard that we've got a couple other guys too, and I haven't seen that are pretty decent as well. But we've got at least, yeah. So that could be 4 to 5 guys out there as receivers that are going to create havoc on teams. Plus the running backs we have, you know. Eric Kyler has reinvented himself as a running back, and that guy is a beast, and he didn't get a lot of opportunity last year, and I think he should have. They've got a couple other guys. Tyler Shaver is a great running back. Like, he battles hard. These guys also are great blockers to help in pass protection. So I think you're exactly right, Gabe. I think this creates a ton of parity. I think I'm interested in Edmonton. Like, there's no reason why Edmonton shouldn't put a good product on the field. I'm interested in Leduc. Like, I think that they could put a good product on the field. So, and if, like you said, you mentioned Graham Perry. Like, I think, no offense, Omari, I think the Bucs and the Wolfpack are going to be a little bit below everybody else, you know, for what we see. But there could be 4 or 5 teams that are competing for that second, third spot in the playoffs and upsets. So, yeah, I think you're dead right there, Gabe. I think it's going to be one of the best years the AFL's ever seen.
Man, yeah, I agree. I mean, Omari, what do you think about that? You know, what is your outlook now as the powers have kind of balanced themselves, if you will?
That's a good question, because that's one thing now where I was I guess pre-recording, we were talking about it, where I kind of look at it like, you know, in the NFL they talk about, hey, we need to win our division and then go to the conference, right? I look at, like, when I look at Calgary, our division is Gators, Irish, Wolfpack. That's like how it comes together. Like if you can win at your division, you stand a chance then to go on to other divisions and all that, right? And so, of course, when I look at Wolfpack, like we're improving, but we're not at the pace of what we're seeing as the Gators or Irish, right? And that's something that we just have to straight up admit. So now this is the case too. We're like, okay, what needs to happen so we can catch up to like that point? Because even then, it's gonna be tough. And if guys, aren't seeing that gap close, and it's like, hey, like that puts in a tough spot to then have a repeat last year, which I think I mentioned before in the podcast. Like guys don't want that to happen again. So, when I look at when I look at Airdrie, you guys were a heavy run team, right? Heavy run team to now I can see a very heavy pass team, right? Because this is now the case here too, where you got a lot of guys like I've went to an Irish workout. I know one of the guys, Pharrell, he played with Memphis out in Okanagan's Sun. Got him in Memphis now in Irish and everything, and like he's a guy too where I think he's a young guy, fresh out of junior.
Is he a quarterback?
No, he's a receiver.
Oh, okay.
Receiver. And he's a guy too where like the way I put it, he's like he's basically at all the how like Vardo, like he's still very, I guess you could say he's a veteran now, but like how Vardo came to the game very new and like new freshness raw and just basically give him the ball and like just charge on the field. Got that energy, and you got that like I say with Sagoon. Now Sagoon has a lot of history in the game, and he tore it up here in Calgary for a long time. Pee Wee Bantam, high school, junior, all that. You now put that together with a guy fresh out of junior, like they got a very, very strong three. Add you the fifth side, they got lots of talent there. Could be sparks, you never know. Man, it's gonna be a good time. So this is kind of like a thing now where, I'm interested to flip from a pass heavy run to now a heavy pass. And I do know the coordinator who's there, a good coach of mine, Tim Kearse, who's the coach there and everything, and he knows football. He's gonna get you guys open and everything. They're definitely gearing up. So this is kind of now where Irish looking deadly, just on the scheme side, and then I know with us Wolfpack, it's gonna be tough to compete with that. So for the Wolfpack players who are listening to this, hey, we gotta step it up because we got 60 days here to like get ready for our division, right? And we're gonna go to Cold Lake too, which is a whole other topic, right? Opening game home in Cold Lake, like we've had that happen before, and it hasn't been the best for us. So there's a few wake up calls, but this should be a wake up call for everybody else here.
Omari, tell me a little bit about Tim Kearse. I've heard a little bit about him. I want to know some more. What do you know about Tim Kearse? Because I've heard, I haven't met him, but I've heard about the coaching staff there, and I've been told he's like you said, he's a very smart mind.
Yeah, very smart football mind. I guess my history with him, he was our assistant head coach when I was with the Colts, 2014, 2017. That's the realm I know him there. All different roles, like special team receiver. I know he was the head coach, so we'd help out like on like field special teams things, but like knows receiver. Played NFL, played CFL, like he knows what he's talking about.
Played NFL, wow.
Yeah, played NFL and CFL. Loves to stick to the fundamentals, which I find like me being coached by him. He's a guy he's gonna tell you if you're wrong, you're wrong. You need to do it better. He'll tell you straight. Like that's just the one thing that I always appreciate with him. And like when I look at my time with the Colts when I was developing that, like I just appreciate his effort into me and always pouring into me and everything to see me get better. So he's a guy that loves to stick with the fundamentals. So for guys that try to be very flash and everything, look, just get in and out of your breaks fast, catch the ball, right? You'll make it happy. But he's going to teach you things just to be able to do that stuff. So
that's so exciting.
Very good. Yeah, very good side there. And as well, I do remember for 2014 as an OC for Calgary Colts, loves football, loves informations. He does a good job just being able to call plays and everything. So this is now you guys got a very experienced person back in the calls. Not saying anyone in the past hasn't, but I know with the resume he brings, it's going to be quite dangerous to add to the mix of talent you guys have as well.
Well, that's exactly it, and that's so exciting for me. Like I'm so craving being coached again, and just showing up and having someone that cares being there and wanting to win and wanting to execute and wanting to help people get better. That's so exciting for me, and I think like having somebody that has that level of experience is rare in this league, right? So kudos to the Irish for going out and getting a guy like that. My next thing would be, you're talking so highly of him, Omari. I just want to quickly say something, okay? So in 2022, the people that were running the Bucs were not my favorite people in the world. And I wasn't going to come back that year because of some disagreement. So I went for a year hiatus. I went to the Wolfpack, and I really enjoyed my time with the Wolfpack. But I'm just saying that 2022 Wolfpack team was sneaky good once I got there. And had we have not lost the fastest cow, Alex Soretsky,
Aaron Rommel.
Yeah, Romilly, that's true. We lost Romilly that year too. Had we not lost those two guys, we could have made some serious noise that year. Like we lost to Cold Lake in the playoffs, but there were some things missing in that team. And now a lot of those main guys are on the Irish. And Omari, we've got some unfinished business. So this is an unofficial recruitment to come join the group. You love the coach. Yeah, we kind of. I mean, this could be something special. So something to maybe think about if things don't work out at the Wolfpack. What do you think about that? It's got to be tempting.
I mean, Omari, before you say something, that's actually what I wanted to lead to. I mean, and this is no offense. I mean, I come again. If there's anyone that understands being a homer, loyal to the soil, all that good stuff, staying in for something for too long, and all that good stuff, it's me. Not in a bad way or anything, or shots thrown. I've been through multiple different avenues in my career. I get it. I don't know, man. You don't think maybe it's time to, because you was talking a lot, like, you would want to be coached by bro again, like at some point in your life. Like maybe it's time. Like you on a serious thought though. You've never thought about maybe, because I know as we talk preseason and everything prior to getting back here on our podcast and really getting football real going, we did talk, you and me specifically, and you did say you were exploring options. You never really thought about maybe actually giving a new home a chance. I know you're back where you're at, but you didn't actually think maybe whether it was out with the Gators when you tried with them, or maybe it was over with Airdrie when you tried with them, or if you would have gone anywhere else, you don't think maybe it would have been a good chance to maybe try a new avenue this year?
That's a great question, because it was definitely on my mind, and the way I put it was the way I entered the off season. I guess I'm still am is where I'm still impartial to everything. Like, I think in the past where guys have known me is like, hey, Mark, you gonna try? No, I'm staying Wolfpack. We're gonna figure things out. Now we're at a point now where like, okay, like I'm not keen to doing the same thing over and over and over. So this is now where I'm really pushing the limits of like, hey, am I gonna stay Wolfpack? Am I gonna look at other options? I did go to Irish workout. I went to Gators workout. I think I went to 2 Gators workouts. And then I was going to try and go to a Bucs workout as well, just to get a chance to timing just to work out to make to a camp. But it's definitely one thing now where I'm just trying to keep my eyes open, and while I still keep my options open, trying my last effort to really try and make sure, hey, Wolfpack, like if everyone's really gun ho, like really trying to turn this around, all right, I'm gonna put the last bit of effort in. Let's see everyone pitch in for it, see what's happening, and like, there's been some improvement. But as we now get into the last 60 days of the season, this is where it's really got to show, because, Gators making moves, Irish making moves, Wolfpack, we gotta do something. Gotta do something. So this is now where it's definitely in my mind, and like there's been some conversations. I think every time I have a flag game, I always think the flag game always seems like with the Gators. Like I think we can play. We don't play them next week, but anytime like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, we're all just leaving the field and everything. And there's always a conversation like, hey, Mario, what's happening? So there's always that's happening. Like, I'm a guy who's loyal to the soil, where I'm trying to give him that last bit of effort, because there's been signs and communications of like, hey, we want to see change, but now's the time to really see it on. And, the way I'm going to bring it down to is where, like, I guess when I look at the rules of being released, I can get released as long as I don't play a game. I can get released. So maybe I do a holdout. Or maybe I just say I'm releasing the last day before a game, and then go to a team. I don't know. I think a holdout's a little extreme, because I'm not actually going to get paid for this, so like it's my own money I'm losing.
I mean, it would still be a holdout, though. You're still a key player in the league. It's not like you're just.
I can't be doing that, but it's a case here too where I'm more than happy to go to a team last minute and just say, hey, look, I'm new. I'm brand new to the system, whichever team I go to, and then like, hey, put me on special. I'll just run punt, sure, kickoff, sure, and then as I get more comfortable working to the system, be put to wherever I need to be put. So I think I'm comfortable with that, just knowing my skills as a player and what I can bring, and then wherever I go, I go. So there is still time for either things to Wolfpack to turn around, and then there's also still time for me to make a move. So again, everyone's on me to like make a decision, but we got 60 days. I got like lots of time to see, and then go from there. So, you know, I know earlier the better because I can get integrated into a system, of course, which I think as a football player we want. But I also trust me able to say, hey, look, I'll do the job that no one wants to do. No one's going specials. I'll just do that, sure, to start off, make a couple plays, do my responsibility. Happy with that to start. Right, so I'm comfortable with that, and then wherever things go, they go.
I hear you. I will say you're not the only one that likes doing specials.
Specials,
I'm put my hands up for specials,
hey,
and I'm not.
specials is low key the most fun because
You go
you
hit
don't have
some, man.
unless you're a returner, or the kicker. Like, hey, I don't worry about ball security. I can just dominate. I can just go like take some frustration. So, you know, that's one thing I do enjoy, and like one kind of like side conversation I want to have everybody here is like, you know, when I look at like when you look at a team, all right, and how good this team is, a way that I help judge that team, like how good they are, is like how they line up on specials. Like,
I see what you're saying. Yes.
are these guys line up on specials ready to kill, or are they just like, man, I'm just here place holding. I'm here just holding the spot. I'm just gonna run down whatever. And there's always a difference of the teams that, you know, are ready to go, ready to hunt, ready to enforce violence, and those that don't. Because that's one thing now when I look at like the Gators, the Jets, the Edmonton Elite, right? They were really enforcing like, hey, we're gonna go down and put a body on the ground to go hurt somebody.
Yeah, specials is not a play where you take off. No, to your point, yes. I agree. That's actually kind of how I look at it too. That's another reason why in Cold Lake we were always pretty good at our specials, whether returning or going down to tackles. You know, we took it seriously. We weren't just putting dumb bodies out there. I've been on both sides where you just put a bunch of crash test dummies out there on return or kickoff, and it doesn't work out well. Then I've been on the other side where I see people with the crash test dummies out there, and I know exactly what's going to happen on both sides. So, no, yeah, I totally agree. You know, specials is not a play you could take off, and that's exactly how I kind of look at a lot of teams, too. Like, do you take it seriously, or are you actually putting effort into this? If not, I kind of know exactly what type of level you are, or what type of specific coaching you're getting, or what type of leadership you guys have. Because the real championship teams, there's no plays that are taken off. In fact, even during timeouts, it looks like there's a play that's going to really happen during a timeout sometimes. 'Cause it's like, damn, they're that intense in their conversation. So, you know, it's I don't know. I guess to your point, it's only the true football savants only look at it that way because I don't really hear that too much from too many people. So I appreciate that, Omar.
Yeah, you need it, and I think there's, and I'll let Teej hop in before I mention my next point here.
Oh yeah, look, I don't like specials as much as you guys do. I mean, I'm just gonna be real. Like, I stopped wanting to return kicks a long time ago when I realized that like that is definitely the highest chance to get hurt. So at this point in my career, I actually love kicking because there's no expectation of me to go hit anybody. So I'm not a big fan of what you guys were talking about. I mean, Gabe wants to run over people and get returns. I'm past that in my life. Like, let me catch footballs. Let me wall guys in and hold the edge and make other guys let other guys tackle. That's kind of where I'm at in my life. So yeah, and I don't like it as much as you guys.
There's one guy in our league. He's on the Gators, King Huang. That guy now, like, anytime I see him live on kickoff, I was like, that guy wants to go down and act violence. Like, I think there's clips. I know he posted a video of him coming back and renouncing he's going back to the Gators, and like he's the guy now where I'm like, man, like, and this is why I always think the Gators were so successful because they had guys like King line up on one side of the field. Like, you just looked at any time they went running at a kickoff, it was just bodies on the floor, throwing, violence, like everything, right? Like, he's a guy now where I do look at like, hey, what's the mentality there? And he really set the tone for the game, and his kickoff too. Like, kickoff sets the tone there, and this is kind of where a little bit of shout out to him, but as well, like, it does set the tone of like how a team's going to enter a game and how that team will look look moving forward.
He reminds me of that guy from The Replacements that was just so angry all the time and just like jazzed to like, you know what I'm talking about? Am I saying that? Is that the right movie? You know, like it just that guy's just freaking crazy. Like in our exhibition game last year, we were doing scrimmage, like preseason scrimmage, and he's trying to kill people. Yeah. He's just freaking jacked all the time and just like smashing his head into the wall and
program.
Oh, the program. Yeah. Right. I knew I had it wrong. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. The program, man. That's who King reminds me of. This guy's an animal. Like he just wants to hurt people. It's terrifying.
I remember watching the film when we like Wolfpack play the Gators, and I see him coming down, and I was like, "Hey, like guys, I'll have to take him. Like I'm not like he was the guy too. I was like, "Hey guys, look, don't. I'll just take him." And I just knew like, "Hey, I obviously can't stop him. I just need to like." Get an angle on him or just something.
Wall him off.
That we can like wall him off because like if he's gonna blow through somebody. Like last thing I need is like I don't know, just like I just figured like hey, I'm the leader. I gotta take this guy. Like gotta take him, and like I think I was successful when I was just walling him off, and I was like I just watch film, and just make sure I did that because he's a guy too where like I just knew like hey if I'm gonna do this right, I'm gonna be on his highlight tape. But he's a guy who I love going against, and we'll be potential teammates. You never know, or is he gonna be an opponent? You never know, and we'll just navigate that as we get closer to the season.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. In latter news, any other big signings throughout the league? In addition, obviously, me. I think me and Teej kind of highlight the bigger ones so far. Any other moves outside in the league that are kind of intriguing to you guys or that have kind of sparked interest for you?
I saw Cold Lake has posted a couple guys they've signed from the States or U.S. programs. D-tackle, I think, and a running back, I think. The running back looked like a thick, like kind of powerful kind of running back guy. And then the D-lineman is a big guy, similar to like the Tremont Stevens, I think his name was, that they have. So they I think they're going to probably come up with some more. I'm interested to see who they got throwing the football. Again, that's all. Cold Lake has never really had like a top-notch quarterback. They had that kid with you, the tall kid, who got the job done. But the reality is your guys' defense really ran that program to the championship with some playmakers. Like Cole Bridges makes quarterbacks look good no matter who they are. So and he was all right, but I'm interested to see if they've got that, because with the addition of Jordan Heather to the league, that's a problem for Cold Lake, because you can't all of a sudden compete with a team that's got a quarterback that's just eons above you. It just becomes hard in Canadian football. So I'm interested in that. I haven't seen a lot. Edmonton's been extremely quiet. Leduc has been weird. Like Leduc just doesn't want anyone to know anything about anything. And then the Bucks, I can tell you, haven't signed anyone. They lost me, and that's about it. I don't know.
I'm looking here on the transfer list, and Ethan Duncalf out of Airdrie Irish, running back, fullback. He's been released. He hasn't said he's going to sign anywhere. There's a few unknowns here. Mike Becker, VP, Travell Wisdom out of Central, the Bucks.
Okay. Travell, I can speak on Travell. So Travell played in our 2021 championship season, and that was the only season he played. But Travell's a good football player and a good kind of DB, Sam linebacker. So I'm interested to see if he is going to come back. I would say if he comes back, he's probably going to go to the Gators, but he would be a good pickup. Travell is a good football player and a good guy. I enjoyed my time with Travell quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I think other than that, nothing really here big. I see you guys who got signed already.
President Vince, he got released. So Mr. Presidente Vince Roth released.
I was going to get to that at some point. And I signed no Presidente.
Yeah, so he's probably going to go to the Gators if he plays. I
think the list has it that he's gone to Gators.
Is it up there? Yeah, so he's going to go to the Gators, so he's going to go to the Gators. that's not going to make a huge difference for them. They've got a good line. Vince is okay. He has apparently lost some weight, so he's been working out pretty hard, which is good. I haven't seen him in a long time, and him and I have our issues for sure. But I wouldn't say a super key guy, but good to see him back in the league that he's a president of. So that'll be good. Not shocking that he would choose the Gators.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I wish teams would be this is a thing, right? Like we try so hard to get this league more promoted because it's such good football. It's just such a tremendous league. And then we have idiot teams that just don't want to be a part of growing the league. They just sit back, say nothing, don't announce anything. Like you look at someone like Cold Lake, right? Cold Lake came into the league, and everything Cold Lake has done has been top notch, from their game day experience to their community involvement to the sponsorships they get to their social media presence. Like everything Cold Lake has done has been the way that every team should model that, right? And unfortunately, a lot of these teams don't. You know, we've got Kurt, who does a fantastic job with Alberta Football League News, and he's the one that made my little graphic up that said I was going to Airdrie, and did a really good job of that. Like Kurt really cares about the league, and you see that with the Gators. You see what he does there. We just need more people on board to just like stop being like weird and holding secrets. Like who cares? Like Leduc, like they want to be so secretive. They didn't even want to tell anyone who was running their team or anything like that. Like just promote your team. Come out and talk about it. Get people excited to come watch your football games. Like we have to have a standard, I think, in this league where like you have to post on social media at least once a month, like to promote your team and promote the league. Like it's ridiculous that some of these teams just sit on their ass and do nothing when you have other teams like Cold Lake. Like it's not even hard. Like just copy Cold Lake. Like go to their games, see what they do, see how they work on their social media, copy them. It's not a difficult thing. I'm frustrated with the Bucs in recent years because the Bucs used to be all over that stuff. We were doing community events, and our social media was great even in the early days. And then we haven't been able to continue that. And it's like, guys, like the carbon copy's right there. Like it's just literally steal that from them and do it. So I wish we would get a little bit more of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, but kind of piggyback off of some things you guys said. Yes, I do agree. Teams definitely need to do more. I don't know what this thing is about trying to be secretive. Like, guys, we're not in a high school relationship or nothing. We got to keep it a secret from the homies, you know, or our parents. Okay, it's okay. You can tell somebody that you signed somebody or that you're building something great over there. Okay, you can do that. It's okay. We won't be mad at you. Actually, I want to hear that from you. You know, I for one, as we all should know now, want you to tell us that you're going to be great. I want there to be more teams to be great in this league. You know, to a point you guys both made, Cold Lake should be a team that is modeled after, truthfully. And I don't say that biasly. I say that truthfully. From being in it as long as I was, I seen it firsthand, helped with it a lot. There's a lot you can do and get done and create if you just put your minds together and just start working together, guys. It's not hard. One thing I definitely got to say, though, to you, Teej, you can feel how you can. You both can feel how you want. But do not sleep on my boy Provo that year we won the Natty. My boy did it every.
Okay. No. So. Okay, let me walk that back. Okay, I gotta walk that back. Provo, no, I love Provo, and Provo was a great quarterback, and that's definitely a misstep by me. Provo was very, very good, and it's super unfortunate that he got hurt when he came back for you guys last year, because obviously that would have made it so much closer for you guys with the Gators. So yes, Rayshawn, you know, he's a great quarterback. He's a great dude. I love talking to him. So Rayshawn, I know you're listening. I apologize. That was a little bit of a brain fart there. Of course, you've had Rayshawn. Outside of Rayshawn, they haven't had the quarterback that I think is 1A, but Rayshawn does some things that are amazing.
I was gonna say, because I was like, boy, we're about to get a text.
No. I mean, he didn't know where he did. He didn't call or nothing. I'm just playing. Imagine he was. No, that was just, and I wasn't being a homer. I would be beyond myself if I was to sit here and say, although you guys aren't wrong, yes, our defense carried our team every year I was there. And that's not in a bad way. We just were a defensively ran team, but we had a good offense. We've had a good offense the last 2 years. We had a great offense my first year. We had a great offense. Yes, it took them some time. I know people will say, "Oh, well, they didn't do this." Like, okay, look, last time I checked, it takes defenses way less time to come together than it takes an offense. Any real football mind knows that. So it took us 2 weeks to really come together as an offense that year. Okay, great. Last time I checked, Provo was averaging at least 45 a game for us. So whatever he wasn't doing right, gosh damn, if y'all really want to get on my head for that, I will say yes. Okay,
No, you're right.
He's probably an athlete playing quarterback to what a lot of people will say, but he's a damn good athlete that played quarterback for me that year and then last year before he got hurt. And so, yeah. That's not saying that you said that, Teej. I got a lot of naysayers out there that try to knock my boy, and I can't let that happen because
No, you can't. That was just a forgetful moment for me. Not. I was just thinking of I was thinking of the tall kid, and then I was thinking of the guy before you got there, Gabe. They had a guy that used to play for the Vandals. His name was Mike, I think. And he could chuck it a mile, but he wasn't. Again, he was very similar to the tall kid that you have. Rayshawn was a game changer in the way that, like, he wasn't a quarterback, right? Obviously by nature, but he went in there and his vision and understanding of football was unbelievable. Like the way that he would read coverages and see things, and like, and obviously from reading quarterbacks, like I can see it happening on the field. His thought process, like he could do the underhand stuff, the sidearm stuff, like all the stuff you want. He could move in the pocket and he could chuck it. So yes, Rayshon was great, and you guys had a great running game that year too. You had a good running back. So
yes, we had
definitely been some good pieces there.
Yes, sure. But yeah, no, I and also to kind of go with some things both as we were all talking about. I definitely think there's been some good signings. I wish more teams would post them. I'm very fond of the Irish's moves as of recent. In addition to Teej, I'm also very fond of Cold Lake's moves. I've also known they were going to do stuff like this just because that is a place where they have great recruiters, smart recruiters, and veteran recruiters that just know how to get people and know how, not just like getting people, but get people out, help people get to the next destination. Which why wouldn't you want to go to a place like that? So I think Cold Lake's made a lot of good signings. I know we over here at the Gators aren't done making some moves, as you guys seen. We made a big one. So, we got the big fish back, the big dog back. He's back. I can't wait to share the defense field with him. We're gonna get after it together. So there's that. But I definitely think we're growing into a solid parity. I hope, wish, and pray that there will be a time, as you were saying earlier, Teej, there could potentially be 4 to 5 teams, vying for a spot. I hope we're still playing in the league when there are 4 to 5 teams actually vying for a spot. I don't want it to just be the same. Granted, I don't mean this like there can't be, but I don't want it to just be the same 2-3 teams that are just always, at the top. Let's get some other ones in there. Let's actually make it fun. Let's as great as we were at Cold Lake. I'm sure the parody of everything was great to watch us get knocked off, and not in a bad way. Just it grants like, okay, we have a chance. We can do some things. It's not just a one-legged race. So I think it's been good. I think there's been a lot of good signings. I think the teams are creating a lot of good parity. I will say, I think now the big news we'll be waiting to see is exactly what happens with Mr. Omari. One thing I was not anticipating, and I can go ahead and say this now that it's been talked about. As we came into our late but early pre-production meeting, I had briefly heard you mentioning something about that, Mari. And, I think of everybody, you're one of the more respected guys in this league, to where a move by you wouldn't even raise any concerns for starters. I'm not saying that's an issue for you or anything you're worried about, but I think everybody would respect that for A. But for B, I definitely think you're also one of the sleeper players in our league. I said this to you last year. I definitely think you get you a decent O-line and some decent pieces on the outside and throwing the ball to those pieces, you become a focal point to where teams need to start planning for you. And I think unfairly to you, you haven't had too many opportunities. There was that one year when I first came in where you and Teej were together at the end there, but you haven't had too much of that. Outside, well, then not the year after with Sereski a bit, but still, I think if you were to go somewhere else where you would be able to be used properly, and efficiently with more weapons, I don't know, maybe that team may be, a solid contender, or not just that, bro, but for you, I think it'd be good. But I think that's probably now the big news we're all waiting to hear. I know I'm waiting to hear. I definitely need to know.
Well, we'll definitely, Omari and I will talk, and whenever he makes his decision, we'll do some sort of special episode for it. My news kind of got shared quickly. It happened quickly, and we didn't get to kind of surprise anyone with it on the podcast. But Omari, we'll definitely do that. Maybe we'll do it we'll do it university style. You'll have an Irish hat, a Wolfpack hat, and a Gators hat, and you'll just kind of tease us a little bit. I'll say, hey, it'd be great to play with you again. I think we could have a lot of fun both being on the Irish and the host. Plus, you got your coaches, and we got our revenge tour with the 2022 Wolfpack team. So it could be a lot of fun. But, I hope I do what's best for you and pray a little bit. It helped me.
I've been thinking about this, in the sense of, how would I reveal it? And I've been, seeing how some of these, college teams have, their cameras, social media team do, the uniform transformations. And so I'm like, how do I do that? Would I get, a Wolfpack jersey? I need, a jersey, and whatever team I'm going to jersey, and then, do, the transformation. Maybe I do, the Star Wars, get a Star Wars banner or, audio in the background. I don't know. I've had a few ideas how I want it to come out.
Order 66.
I would make sure it'd be, a little build-up to make sure we get the clickbait and all that.
That's great. Okay, boys, I got to get going. I got to feed my baby. So, Gabe, closing thoughts to you. Close us out on the podcast. Thank you for doing this. This was a ton of fun. We will definitely do this again in some way or fashion. So go ahead and give us the closing word and close us out.
Well, I appreciate you, gentlemen, for allowing me to do this. I hope we get a lot of good downloads from this episode. It was a lot of fun. And yes, I would like to do this again. Hopefully we can. But great to talk with you both. Thank you for all of our listeners. If you're ever interested, we would love to hear and have you guys as sponsors if there are any out there. It is a big time for us. I can say us because I've spent a lot of time here with the boys. So
you can.
We've made good strides, but we just need a little bit more help to help us continue to make more strides. And with your help, we can definitely get there. So please don't hesitate to reach out if that's something you guys have ever thought about doing. Please reach out to Teej. Please reach out to Omari. If need be, please reach out to me. I will definitely get you guys to them. Please don't hesitate. But we love you guys. We look forward to hearing about all the upcoming news from all you guys, all you teams. Please stop being secretive. And more over anything, God bless you guys. Please be safe. Hug your families. Love your families. We'll talk to you guys soon on the next episode. I probably won't be here on the next one, not in a bad way or nothing. It'll be back to your normal co-host. But thank you again, in which case, for allowing me to be here. We love you guys here at the AFLU. And more importantly, have a great one.
Awesome. Thanks, boys. That was a lot of fun. We'll talk soon.
All right. See ya.
See you guys.
All right.